It's a deep, dark, black Wednesday on the Metal Summit. We are so happy, Metal Summoners, to have you guys with us. As always, thank you so much for the support into our third year now doing the Metal Summit. And we really appreciate you guys for everything that you do for us so we can do this for you. It is your Island of Misfit Toys, and there's a lot of us today. But we still have the Bobby Dreyer, we've got Psycho Steve, we've got Angel Alamo, I'm Jay, as always. And joining us around our altar today, we are being joined by Knoxville, Tennessee's own black metal band, Summoner Circle. Hey, guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How's everything going with you guys today?
Good.
Very good. We really appreciate you having us on, man.
Hey, our pleasure, absolutely. And so since we're kind of, our fans are going to be a little uncertain, unused to this. So, let's keep them a little less stimulated until we really get into it. But why don't we just kind of go around the board real quick and let everybody introduce yourselves, who you are and what you do in the band. And then we'll jump in and we'll have a little bit of fun. Gog, why don't I start with you? And then everybody can just chime in.
All right. I am Gog. I'm the lead guitar player.
Nice.
And I'm Etalk, bass player and backing vocals.
I'm Absalom, and I'm rhythm guitar.
Blind, lead vocals.
And Invictus, drums.
Awesome. Right on. Well, we appreciate you guys again for joining us this evening. Let's just kind of jump right into it. What have you guys got going on right now in the Summoner Circle camp?
I'll jump on that. Currently, we're actually in the studio making a new single that hopefully will be released a little bit later this year. We're going to be up for label shopping, so it'll be nice to have that as sort of a help promotional tool to push to the label, and at least that's the plan. And it's going really well so far. We have drums and guitars tracked, and I think next week bass and keys will come in. And eventually we'll get to the vocals.
Eventually. I'm not that important.
Right.
I just make gross noises with my face hole.
Covered.
That's right.
Thank God.
It's be a damn thing.
Absolutely. So this will be your first single coming off your most recent album, which was Chaos Vector, right?
The first single since Chaos Vector was
the
album. Mm-hmm. Yes.
First single thing. Awesome. Right on. So when it came to Chaos Vector coming out, how did you guys feel about the reception? How was it received? And what are you looking to put forth with the new single to follow up with that?
I think the release of Chaos Vector went as well as it could, all things considered. We still put it out in the middle of a pandemic, which is never an ideal situation, but it was either we wait another year or two to put it out and just continue to sit on it, or we go ahead and release it ourselves. And we chose the latter. So it didn't get as much press as we would have liked because of that. But at the same time, the press that it did get has all been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Right on, guys. Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, with so many faces. If there's any pauses, fans, it's only because I'm giving people the opportunity to chime in if they want, for sure. So when it comes to like putting together like the songs and the style and what you're looking to put out when it comes to the band, talk a little bit about like how the band formed in general and what you were trying to put across as not only music. I had this so much easier in my brain. So talk a little bit about the band forming and what it was putting together the band to where you guys were on the same path with what you wanted to do musically and then visually, because you have quite the stage show.
Yeah, it was, I guess, early in 2015 in February, and I was in between bands. And I got together with my friend who was the original rhythm guitar player in Summoners. And, we just decided to get together one night and just, jam a little bit. And we started writing a few riffs, and they were going really well. And we wrote a riff, and we were just giving him placeholder names, and he said, we'll call that one Summoner Circle. And I just kind of looked at him, and I said, let's call the band Summoner Circle. And from there, it just kind of like we started talking about, yeah, we could do sort of a costume thing because I've always wanted to do that. I grew up with Alice Cooper and Kiss and bands like that, and so the idea of doing a costume act was just like, yeah, let's do that. And then we're like, where in Knoxville, Tennessee, are we going to find people that want to do this? And we got very lucky. We brought Blind in, and several member changes later, we had Etoct and Absalon and Invictus. They're all with us now, and it's been a constant evolution. But we came out of the gate with the idea of what we wanted to do, which were these entities, from I guess an alternate dimension, and just basically out for collecting blood, to feed the gods, and it just kind of swelled from there. And I don't know, that's like our first show. We got the full backdrop, full makeup, full costume, all the merch, everything ready to go. And people thought we were a European like black metal band touring, so that was cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wanted to add to that. Speaking of people thinking we're black metal touring. So Whitechapel's from Knoxville, and a father, one of the members of the band, we were opening for them one night here in town a couple of years ago. And the father asked me, he goes, "Where are you guys from?" And I looked at him, I said, "We're from here." And I was like tickled because I played with his son years ago before they had started Whitechapel. Like I played shows with them and I knew they were going to be great back then. So it was pretty funny to see that, it's kind of cool.
Absolutely, for sure. So, and also as like a final part for this particular segment, so Knoxville, Tennessee, like you said, it's not exactly on the frontal lobe of where you would expect a band of your guys' style and sound to come from. Gog, you had mentioned off air about, coming from Texas and growing up, like you said, with Alice Cooper and Kiss, and also liking bands like Dangerous Toys. Right. But what was it about? So talk a little bit about that scene in Knoxville, and how did you come across the other members, with that same kind of style or liking the music? Because that's not, you mentioned many multiple member changes anyway, but again, Knoxville it's not what you're really going to think of when it comes to that. So talk a little bit about that scene in Knoxville.
Blind, do you want to take that one?
I guess the Knoxville scene has always been pretty strong with heavy metal. We do have some big hitters that come out of Knoxville. Etoct already mentioned Whitechapel, Straight Line Stitch. A couple of the members of, at least one member of Pentagram is also from here. And then outside of the metal scene, you've got bands like 10 Years. Knoxville has a history of churning out good musicians, good rock music. So the local scene, it kind of comes and goes. It travels with the same ebb and flow as everywhere else. But one thing that's always been consistent has been the metal scene. It's always hit hard here, and there's not really much else to say about it. Knoxville is a metal town,
but we did look around, and it's like, there's no one around this area, even the surrounding states, that was doing sort of the costume theatrical thing. And we just kind of saw that as, okay, we'll stand out for sure with that. Of course, we wanted the music to really, be there first and foremost. But it was just, okay, there's a hole, let's fill it.
Yeah.
Right on. Very, very cool. Hell yeah. Bobby, let's bring you in, bro.
So I got to flip this over to Invictus. One, you being a Philly native, so you took your name from an English poet?
I was actually originally called Drom. So that was when I was originally, I first started playing with the band on the Bodom tour.
Okay.
So that was my first show with them was in Canada. So that was really cool. And we stuck with that name for the tour, but then, after the fact, the guys asked me to join, full time. And of course I was more than happy to do it. Super happy to be a part of the band. But at that time I was like, you know what, maybe I do want to change my name, come up with something a little bit more fleshed out. And then I think it was if I'm not mistaken, Gog, who threw the name out to me, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, it also means victory, so it's kind of a cool,
Well, it means unconquered, which is really cool. But William Ernest Henley, who did it, the early poet, and just changing the whole background of that, I kept going, that's kind of badass to go that way, that deep and
You can
dark.
thank God for that.
Yeah. All right.
Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Thank
Thank
God.
God.
I will have a
In Gog we trust.
Oh, and I can even have a little head right now.
No,
Oh,
no.
Yeah,
It's better to give than receive.
Nothing wrong with the little head.
No,
not
but
whatsoever.
It's
But
better to give than receive.
Of course.
absolutely.
Well, depends.
Go ahead, and keep rolling with it, Bobby.
Other than that, so Lords of Chaos has, when that documentary came out, has it played a part of what's your interpretation of that whole Swedish black metal band thing right there?
I think it's interesting roots. And, everything needs its origin story, whether it be positive or negative. I'm not really one to comment on that. I do think that the true cult black metal scene has a lot of negativity and bad press, and a lot of it is earned. But I always just adhere to listen to what you like and don't give two shits about what other people say about it.
Okay. And really, what was your opinion of that, portrayal of it there? Did you think it was hype? It was,
Are you talking about the movie adaptation or the documentary?
well, the doc.
The documentary, it's interesting. It's a fun watch for someone who likes heavy metal, but yeah, it's also just kind of gross at the same time. Like the amount of ego that was involved in everything at that time, and it was kind of ridiculous. Like
Well,
people who thought that they were the toughest thing, when it was really just a bunch of skinny nerds in makeup and leather and spikes. And
So
Which is no different than
one
us, but
last-
we own it.
Right.
well,
Yeah.
but here's my thing. You guys are all in the Bible Belt right now. You're
Oh, yeah.
down there.
They love us here. Yeah.
And doing this, how is it receptive? And here's a queen with a fucking Dolly shirt on asking you this shit. But I
all hail the queen.
gotta say, you're down there, and I'm going, how are you guys receptive down there? Look, they're all about Jesus and mud trucks and,
We've been banned from a venue a couple of times. Yeah, that's happened.
We still haven't got a church gig.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there were supposed to be protesters at one of our shows out in Oak Ridge, but it rained and they didn't show up. We were really disappointed because we really wanted, to see the
We wanted to be
protesters
like,
there. So that's like one of those check marks. It's like, oh yeah,
Angry church, good.
yeah, we're hoping for more of that. It's like the more press you get, the better.
of course.
Hell yeah.
Going back to the question of like how I guess people that don't understand the music in the first place, and immediately they're like, oh, they're worshiping Satan. And I have to tell people, it's like, nope, we're not doing that. I mean, you can think that, but that's not what the band is about. And I think that's the misconception.
No, we're just clubbing baby seals.
We're just gonna go out and just start, murdering people and tell people what to believe in. The band's really not about that. So it's kind of interesting.
Hey, look, everybody
So-
thinks I fucking either like disco or what. I'm like, whoa, no. I'm a Rob Halford guy.
I mean, I get enough shit from the guys in the band because I'm a juggalo, but hey, fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Where's your go back chain?
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, we actually
Don't
played.
get him started.
Was it the 25th gathering of the Juggalos? I believe
This is the
Nice.
20th.
20th. Yeah, it was fun, man. We had a good time. We saw some shit. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a blindfold on and I saw some shit.
I've not been the
That's
same
gotta be
since.
a T-shirt right there. I had a blindfold on and I seen some shit.
Yeah.
I think there was an entire human centipede of ass eating. You know, I mean, what more?
I mean, Absalon got the best picture of me ever, and he shares it with everyone, but not in public forum. That's a
Yeah.
secret.
Oh man, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
He ain't
put on
gonna
a shirt,
he ain't gonna let me live that
He
down.
has it framed in his kitchen, actually.
Yeah,
For
I mean,
real.
and it's on a shirt.
Yep.
Now
It's
so.
just really the worst picture I think I've ever seen of myself, but he loves it so much.
It was, you guys. It was Yeetalk post tequila night, because at the
Yeah.
gathering, I mean, you have to have something to drink if you're going to play the gathering, and so we dove into a bottle of tequila there. So
Yeah, he had like, he just woken up and he slept in a chair, I think, most of the
Most
night.
of my fiance had
Dirty
to
hot dog by his
get the
feet.
chair.
And then, he wakes up and he tried to wipe his makeup off, but it's like kind of on in weird places. And it's a great picture. And, we vowed we'd never show it in public.
I could be a tour shirt.
Leo's got the. I
That's a
mean,
great
Absalon's
idea.
got the
I
prototype.
have it on a shirt, and
Yeah, he got
it
me
was-
with that pretty good.
yeah,
I'd
it was
buy
funny.
10 of
We
them.
were doing a photo shoot thing, and I was like asking the guys, how are we going to do this to, because I want to surprise them with this thing, freak them out or whatever. So I had this hoodie on, burn it up while we're putting, face paint on and stuff like that the whole time. And he was joking around with me, trying to help me take my hoodie off. And I was like, no, get back, get away, get away. And so we actually have it on video, the whole reveal. And he's like, you motherfucker.
He got me good. I had no idea he was planning a prank, and I was riding his ass all night for some reason. I guess that was it.
I'm waiting for. I have this like visual of him wearing that shirt like underneath his, his outfit for this under his
happened.
stage gear, or just taking a day where he prints it out and puts it on the underside of his guitar, and that just flips it up at one point and just holds it up.
You
Funny
should
you should-
not
There's
have
the next
told me
idea.
that.
I wouldn't put it past him. That's right down his
Yeah,
alley.
we printed out pictures in the van, and we we hit him in the the sun visor, and we were trying to get him like when Yeetalk was sitting up in the front seat. We're like, man, the lights some eyes. Can you put down that sunshade? So he put it down. There's the picture of him right there. So we give
that's
each other a
amazing.
lot of shit, but that's what families are for.
It's fun.
Absolutely, 100%. Steve, let's kick it over to you, brother.
So why black metal?
Oh, because black metal matters.
I don't think.
We didn't even set out to be a black metal band. We just kind of started doing our thing. And I think our roots were more like a Candlemass style doom kind of thing. And it just slowly evolved that way. And part of it was due to the crowds that sort of accepted us the most. And, it's we were doing the costume thing, and it just seemed like they were like, oh, these guys are cool. And I wouldn't really describe us. I would say we're black end metal, but we're not black metal. We have a lot of other, we have some prog elements in there with some odd time signatures and, some, of course,
Doom.
theatrical, and there's definitely still some of those doom roots there too.
A little bit of everything,
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, 100%. Angel, let's pop it up to you, buddy. How are you doing this evening? How are the Summoner Circle fans? How are the metal summoners?
I'm also about to write down what else to do this weekend. Get blindfolded.
Yeah.
Of course, that comes with a paddle, but that's another story. Girlfriend's watching, so she's kind of got the hint.
Welcome to the freak show, Angel.
That's it.
Oh, awesome. Where the hell is Steve? Oh,
He'll be back.
yeah, he went back to Pornhub.
He's on Grinder.
Yeah, that's more important right now, Pornhub. Let me get to Brian and his question. Oh, sorry, Brian, wrong thing.
That was a question.
That
That
was a
looks much more
statement,
like a
right?
statement.
That was not the question. There it is. Can you tell us how your stage names came to be?
Well, we've touched on that for Invictus already. I kind of was just researching names that sounded cool, and I found that, and it fit. Our original keyboard player came up with some of the names. My name included the original rhythm guitarist was Magog, so it was Gog and Magog, Bible references, those that would take down Christianity in the future, and so I was all about that. And he talked. I picked his name. I suggested his name. It's like talked is German for time, and he's a bass player, so it kind of made sense.
Yeah, we were kind of spitballing ideas around. I was like, that's really unique. And now everybody goes, how the hell they say? They're like, how do we say your name? I was like, Etok. He talks a lot. I don't know.
And Blind was pretty obvious because he had a concept for this character long ago, actually, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I always wanted to perform blindfolded and just deck out an outfit completely around the concept of being blind or eyes gouged out and having to wear a blindfold. I thought it was a fun concept. I always had this picture in the back of my head, and I thought, yeah, we'll just call him Blind, make it obvious,
And Absalom picked his own name. I don't know where the hell he got it from.
I did. You know what? That was a tough thing. So I thought, well, since I'm part Danish, I thought I will go look at old Danish names and old Viking names and stuff like that. So that's what led me to that.
Nice. Blind, I got to ask, before we get to the next question, have you ever had some adventures with your stepping on stage?
Yes. I've had quite a few, especially on I think the worst was actually on the Bodum tour, because being the opening act, they would have the stage lights just completely blacked out on some of the stages. So as we would walk out, I'd have to put my hand on the shoulder of whoever was walking out in front of me and just be like, don't let me trip on anything, especially not any of Bodum's gear. Don't let me trip and fall into Bodum's gear.
Oh man!
Luckily, no trips occurred. So to everybody that guided me to where I needed to be, like I was some little old feeble man, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I have actually been struck by Blind during a live set. He just put his hands out like that, and I was, over there just jamming, and I think it might have been at the Grove Theater or something like that. But I remember, I got smacked, and I was like, well, I guess I'll stay over here.
Yeah, we kind of have to watch out for him, to be honest. It's kind of our duty to we know he can't see shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think, we've been playing together long enough now that we got that vibe, and we kind of know what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. And, you kind of work out your own routines when you're playing the songs and what you're doing and how you're going to headbang during this part and what feels right. And so I think we're at that point now where usually I don't even think about it.
Now, can you guys clarify one thing? I got a couple of people texting me right now. They're asking, you keep saying Bodum. They're like, were you on tour with Children of Bodum? Were you on with Lexi Lawless?
Yes.
Lexi Lahu, yeah.
Yeah, we did the Hex North American tour.
It was Children of Bodum you were with.
Yes.
Because there's 3 bands out there and people are like getting confused and they're like going, okay, is it Lake Bodum? Is it this one?
No, it's our beloved Lexi.
Okay.
Yeah. Rip. Yeah, it was with Alexi, his last North American tour, and it was certainly struck us when we heard of his passing. He was great, super friendly guy, and we feel very honored that we were able to be a part of that last tour here in North America with him.
Yeah. Because I mean, now other with them, who else did you guys tour with?
Was Wolfheart, Swallow the Sun, and there was a couple dates I want to say, maybe 2, maybe 3. I've slipped since then, but like where they added some local or regional acts at the time. But it was on that tour was Wolfheart and Swallow the Sun and Children of Bodum.
Wow.
Yeah. We were the only American band. It was the 3 Finnish bands and us. So
we were treated really good. Really good.
Yeah, we really were.
It was a lot of fun too.
That was our first major tour. And to be like the band nobody's ever heard of, on that tour. They treated us great, and I can't, we just got so many fans. I mean, it was amazing. We did our job. We went out there and we played our stuff, and people loved it. And it was kind of like one of those moments where, like, okay, we're doing some things right. When you have the Canadians like singing your songs back to you, that they've never seen you play before, but they knew the words. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was one of those goosebump moments for me, because really, it was the second song of the set, and they were singing the entire, like, we can see them singing the song. It's like they pre-gamed, kind of like
you could see him. I couldn't.
Well, no,
It was, I was like the farthest north away from home I've ever been, and like very cold. And these guys are out there singing to our second song of the set, which I think was Balrog General. They were just out there, and I was like, this is cool. All right, this is good. We're here, and they're enjoying this. And I was like, this is going to be a good tour. So, yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
it's certainly validating.
Oh, absolutely. Angel, let's bring it back to you for some more questions, bro.
We got a question from Susan in Toronto. It's kind of similar to Bobby's question. Did you open for Bodum in Toronto? And if so, what was the venue?
We did in Toronto. I can't remember the name of that venue.
Everybody had played this place. Like the Ramones had played there, Smashing Pumpkins, like old.
Was
Like
Toronto the last venue in the Canadian?
it was the last one
of
in Canada.
for us.
Oh, that's what I meant.
It was 2019, so that's a couple years ago now. Shit.
Yeah, I'm having trouble remembering the name of the venue.
The Ritz or something? I don't think it was called the Ritz.
No, that was Florida.
That was Florida.
I'm just gonna have to pull up the tour flyer.
We just have to look it up.
Well, speaking of Toronto, any fun stories of going through customs?
Actually, that never happened for us at all.
It was the
we
Phoenix,
got
by
to
the way.
customs. They said, "Let's see your passports," and we had been told in advance that could take a couple hours, so be prepared for it.
At least a couple hours.
Yeah, and
At least have some
and
strippers.
the tour manager had done his duty in advance, had all the documentation sent ahead of time. So all they had to do was just verify our IDs, and then they said, "All right, you're good to go."
It was also like almost a blizzard at 2:30 in the morning when we crossed. So they were just like, "Yeah, get out of here."
Yeah,
It looked like Hoth, man. It
Yeah.
looked
they didn't want to see us
frigid.
anymore.
I'd never driven, we have this big Econoline 350 van. We're not in a, tour bus or anything like that, with a trailer behind us. And, the thing's got this much play in the wheels. So you're just kind of guiding it over the ice like this. I've never driven in snow like that in my life. The minute we crossed the border, Dave, who was, he did tech work for us on the tour, he's like, "Okay, you're driving now." And I was like, because we're from the South, right? We don't get a lot of snow. And, but fortunately,
He
we
drove
were
24 hours
Phoenix
straight. I
Concert
think he deserved
Theater,
a break.
snow blowing sideways like this at 3 a.m, trying to drive in a country that I've never been to before, and I haven't. It's like it was fun.
By the way,
Was it
the name of that venue was the Phoenix Concert Theater.
That's right.
Phoenix.
No.
There you go,
We
Susan.
love Canada. I cannot say how much the dates we played there. The crowds were amazing, and they really loved their metal up there.
Yeah,
They wanted
and I
an
gotta
encore
say,
in Toronto.
that was a hell of a tour to start out on with you guys.
Yep.
Invictus is like, man, I can get used to this if this is what I get.
Well,
No
dude,
doubt.
he aced the tryouts. He he tried out remotely before even jamming with us. We're like, man, he's just nailing this stuff. And I was like, man, he wants this. Like, he wants to do this tour, So it was pretty freaking cool.
We actually played a show with his old band. That's how we met him. And when we were searching, it was the show in Ohio at the Panama Club. I forget where it was at. But,
The Panama.
Yep,
Panama, yeah. And
hole in the wall.
they kicked ass. And so when we were like, I was like, well, what what about that guy that was playing with them up there or whatever? I talked to him and he seemed okay.
I
Yeah,
remember,
he would never.
I remember thinking,
not
that guy's
tell
a
me
really
about
good
Taco
drummer.
Bell.
Let's call him.
Yeah.
We'll call him and then we'll stick him on a T-shirt too.
Right.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Angel, right back to you, bud.
Okay, so the new record is expected to be released later in the year. What can fans expect
New
musically?
single.
Yeah.
From new single. Oh, sorry, my apologies. New single. What can fans expect from the new single?
I feel like, for me, I definitely feel like this tune is probably one of our tunes that has the most blackened edge to it. For me, I feel like it's a little more blackened. It has, other moments that are a part of what we do, but for me, it's definitely leans more into black metal.
There's definitely a lot more black metal influence going into some of the newer material that we're working on. That doesn't mean that we are stepping completely into the black metal waters, because we're not. It's just there's still a sound that is very much us, and we're just adding a little more black metal to the mix. It works well and it's fun.
Yeah, it's just a constant evolution. I think, it's in the music industry, you evolve or die, right? No one wants to hear the same record 72 times. I think as musicians, I want to keep growing and pushing the boundaries of what we're doing. And I think this is just a natural evolution. We've got 3 songs written. We're probably going to put each one out as at least the plan right now is to do 3 separate singles and then maybe package them together as an EP. We decided for a theme of blasphemy on for these 3 singles.
We're really going to piss off the Christians around here. So see how they take that one.
As if they didn't hate us enough already.
I know, right?
That's right. But we're trying to do it
reason
not
to hate us
overtly and in a comic book way, but in more of a let's challenge people to think. That's the idea, and really take a look at the history of religion in general and how much negativity it's brought. Through lots of the world, lots of wars, lots of things like that. So I think it's there are positives there too, but I think what we're focusing on is sort of that dark side of it.
Nice. Super cool for sure. So the next question that I wanted to ask, it's kind of geared a little bit towards Etalk and Gog, but of course, Invictus and Absalon, if you're working with people as well, we definitely want to hear about it. But we talked a little bit off the air that you guys work with Solar Guitars, which I think is super duper cool. Because I had looked up some of the gear and their guitars are beautiful. They look really, really nice. So I wanted to ask you just a little bit about how you got involved with them. And then, like I said, of course, in Invictus, Absalon, if you guys are involved with people as well, we definitely want to know about it. I'm just starting with them because I knew that they were with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I liked the look of their guitars, and I knew I wanted one. I'm a Flying V guy, and they had this white V that I really loved, and I ordered one first. And I really like the guitar. It plays well for the money. It's a really high quality guitar. I've had better guitars. Obviously, I've got Les Pauls and things like that are higher quality guitars. But for the price, I thought this is really cool. And so I sent a letter, an email, to their. Went to the website, found out about, getting endorsements, and filled out the paperwork and sent it in. And they were like, oh yeah.
Who was that again?
Solar. Ola England's guitar company. So.
Yeah. Stolar Guitars.
SOLAR. Yeah. They're really nice guitars. And, I'm playing them exclusively right now.
Yeah. Me and, Gog, we've had a pretty good relationship talking about gear and guitars, because before I was in the band, actually the Gibson Flying V that Absalon is playing actually originally sold to Gog. He came into the store and I said, oh, the new band was this was before I was in the band. I was like, he was looking at White Visa stuff, and I pointed that out. I was like, this is a Summoner's guitar right here. I didn't know that I'd end up in the band later and that Absalon had ended up playing it too. I mean, it's a killer guitar. But the Solar Guitar Company, I remember when Herb was, showing me the guitars and getting them in the quality, because he had showed me some other guitars from this other company and they weren't good guitars. But when he got with Solar, I was like, they're very similar to what's coming out of Schecter right now. They're primarily made in Indonesia. If you're familiar with guitars that come out of that factory.
Yep. For
They're
sure.
set up really well. They're weighted really well, and their quality control is good. And that is a player. That's the main thing we want. Is like you get it, plays good.
And they're
Like the
actually
bases-
moving. They're actually moving to Japan. Like I think their
Yeah.
1 series guitars are now going to be made in Japan, and I think the 2 series are going to stay in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I seem to remember reading that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the bass I'm playing, it's super lightweight. It's probably the lightest bass I own. It's all blacked out. They offer a couple different models for bass players. I own a 4 and a 5 string, a few colors, but really where they shine is their plethora of guitar shapes, designs, pickup options, and stuff like that. I'm curious to see what they're going to do more with the bass stuff. Like I said, they're known more as a guitar company. That's, Gibson's the same way. I own a few Gibson basses, but they're really known for their guitars. I own a couple Fender Geddy Lee jazz basses. Those are fantastic. They're made in Japan. So
Yeah, and if any guitar players are out there wondering kind of what the Solars play like, I'd say they're closest to a Jackson in terms of the way the neck feels. It's like a 13.5 radius, if I'm not mistaken. So
my
Nice.
bass plays like a Schecter stiletto is what I could say on the bass side. It feels like a stiletto bass as far as the way the neck feels, which is different than a Jackson bass, by the way. So
I can definitely understand that because Bobby's the guitar guy who likes to play bass. I'm the bass guy exclusive that will fuck around with
I
guitars,
was
but he's
with
just
my
so
buddy
happy
today,
with his
Mr.
bass.
Adam Reaver of FU-Tone.
nice.
nice.
So we definitely love that. But Absalon, how about yourself, brother? Do you play with anything in particular or anybody that you want to talk about that you work with?
I'm not doing anything exclusive at the moment. I am working on something with an amp company. Fingers crossed. But my favorite amps, I used Mesa Dual Rex on the Children of Bodom tour.
Okay.
And right before that tour, and I worked at Guitar Center with Etok for a short time, I discovered an orange TH100. And I was like, well, I can't switch, my rig right before we, go on the road. So I was like, God, I hope nobody buys this thing. Of course somebody did. Of course they did, And but shortly after tour, I unloaded my Mesas. Not that there's anything wrong with the Mesas. My only issue with them is there's 52,000 knobs on the front and the back, and I like to get where I'm going pretty quick. And so, but yeah, so I went with the orange TH100s, man, and I love them. So I have that. I have an orange Pedal Baby power amp and even the Crush solid state head. But to me, that they rule. And I have I'm also messing with a floor unit, a Mooer floor unit right now to run through my orange Pedal Baby. But oranges, yeah, those are probably my favorite amps. Guitars, I use Gog's old, as Etok said, his old Flying V. And I actually never thought I would be a Flying V player. When I got in Summoners some time ago, he said I could mess with it if I wanted to. And I always thought it looked cool. I always thought they looked cool. I just didn't think it'd be comfortable. And that's my main axe. And then I have a Gibson SG and an Epiphone Les Paul Custom.
Nice. Very, very cool. Invictus, how about yourself, brother? Is there anything that you're kind of rocking with or working with?
I've been using the same kit with Summoners. Since the beginning. I'm using a D-Drum Reflex, which I'm not even sure they make that anymore. But they're Alder shells. It's not a super common thing if I'm correct about that. But they sound really good. It was a really cheap kit at the time. Like I said, I got it probably around, I want to say 2013, 2014, something like that. But mainly, as far as cymbals go, I like to use Sabian for the most part, but I have a Meinl thrown in there as well, the Heavy Bell. Axis pedals. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Right on, man. No, super cool for sure. Bobby, let's bring you back in, bud.
So, we talked about a couple things, and so I seen you played with a great guy we're all big fans of, Mr. Phil Anselmo.
Yes.
And the Illegals. So talk a little bit about that. Look, we just lost Dime, years ago, and Dime's passing and everything. And Psycho Steve's on here, named his puppy after him and everything else. But your relationship with Mr. Phil.
Man,
You know,
go ahead, Gog.
I was going to say, we really didn't get a chance to talk to him too much when we played with him. We played with the Illegals, and he was back in the tour bus most of the time. We kind of went in passing. We did the head nod thing, hey, and but really we didn't get a chance to hang out or talk with him or anything like that. A couple of the other guys.
How was the receptance of the crowd from your band to Phil? I mean, were they accepting of you guys?
Oh yeah. And it was a home show for us too. It was a Knoxville show, so we had our crowd there as well. But yeah, I think we've been pretty lucky. We played, for a lot of different styles of metal audiences. We've played with metalcore bands, we've doom bands, death metal bands, and
Guar.
Yeah, we played with Guar. We can fit
Gathering.
I think that's we have a lot of
Max
sounds
Sabbath.
in our music. so.
I wanted to ask you about Max Sabbath. That
Yeah.
was the other one that I was going to kick out, and so we're going to go that route too. So Max Sabbath, how the hell did you land that gig?
Can I say something real quick about your last question, just real quick?
Sure.
Okay, you were asking about Phil, and I'm back in the '90s. Like I when I discovered Pantera and of course a little bit after Down, which I'm a huge fan of. That stuff really kicked my ass back then, So fast forward this many years later to do that, actually didn't have a conversation with him, but it was really weird because I was walking backstage and I had my phone and somebody was walking next to me and was occupied doing something. And I just looked up and it was Phil walking next to me. And I was just like, hey man, how's it going? And he was like, what's up, dude? And that was that. And I was like, damn it. Damn it. That was it. But it was a great show. And you know what? I will say this, the guys in his band were really cool. We're really cool too. So, but I will say this for just that moment, like I seemed like a dude that had a good energy about him. So,
look, we're all fans. And we all get that thing. Everybody keeps going, oh, you're a star fucker, you're this. And I'm going, no, I don't give a shit what band you were in. When your hero or this walks by, we turn into the chick and go, oh.
Yeah, it's like we played with my first appearance with Summoner Circle was with the Mighty Goat Whore. And I am a huge Acid Bath fan.
Nice.
And Soylent Green. So to get to, and I think we all pretty much talked to Sam and Ben, and so that was really great for me. I actually saw Acid Bath back in the '90s too, so
very cool.
It was a huge deal to play with them. They kick ass live too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever get to meet Rob Halford, I probably won't even know what to say. I love Halford.
Bad Bobby won't say. Okay, this is off the record. Okay, no, it isn't.
It's kind of not.
PNC Art Center. It was the first tour back with Halford. I'm in the front row. You guys probably don't know what cruising is, but I felt like I was getting the law broken at me. Wink, wink.
Oh man. Oh.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, delivering the goods, man.
Let's go into Max Sabbath now.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I get to play a Hamburglar.
So the Max Sabbath show, wasn't that the one that they asked us to do kind of spur of the moment, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
was
picked it up a couple of days before. Yeah.
Yeah, they literally just hit us up and said, hey, we need a local band. Can you guys do it? And we just happened to be available. So we played it. And it's a good thing we did because I believe it was that same night. They said, thanks for coming out and doing this. You guys want to do Guar next? I'm like, yes, let's do Guar. But it was really fun. The guys in Max Sabbath were a lot of fun. And I'm
Big
not going to say
musician.
who it was, but it turns out that one of the members of Max Sabbath is somebody that I know from another band.
Wow.
I've seen them play before. I've done photography for their live sets. And I was just like, "What the hell are you doing here?" He goes, "Oh, I'm Grimace." I'm like, no shit, really? You're Grimace? That's awesome. He goes, "Yeah, but just don't tell anybody." I'm like, I'm not gonna say who.
But
Oh,
that's the
it was-
coolest
it was
thing,
so cool.
you know, never turn down a gig and whatever it is. I mean,
Right?
Yeah.
it always leads to something else, you know.
They were great.
No, and you know the vocalist who does like the Ronald McDonald Ozzy thing. You know, he does the
Yeah.
acting and everything, and he talks with the Ozzy accent, not in real life, but man, Absalon and I went backstage for a minute, and he was like there. I guess they were doing some instrumental portions. He had run backstage, I don't know, to go to the bathroom or whatever, and he came back out, and we were like, "Hey man," and he didn't even break character. He goes like, "Oh hey man, how you?" He's like, "How you doing? All right." And it was just, oh, this man, he's in it. He's totally in it. It was really cool.
It was great. At the same time, it was kind of like, what the hell just happened?
They're the shows that you guys are always going to remember and go, yeah, that was just badass.
Well, it's also cool that you guys played with Gwar, because when I saw you in DC, you played with Volvatron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Kim was with her band Fulton Avenue.
Right.
Yep.
That was one of the things also that brought me and Ron out as well, because obviously Ron was working because he was working with you for the interview that he did.
Mhm.
And then I was just coming along because we both know Kim, because I had interviewed her with Fulton Avenue like maybe a year or so before at a local venue here in like Baltimore. So like we were like, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm going to DC to check out this band Summoner Circle that I'm interviewing, and Kim's on the bill with Fulton. You want to come out?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go. We'll have some good time." I haven't seen Kim in forever, and that led me to watching the set and being like, I'm in it. I'm a fan, and talking with Gog at Merch, and currently now sitting with all of you guys. So yeah, it's always good to say yes to a gig.
Oh yeah, and that was a fun show. I think Kim actually broke Blind's light off.
Oh, yeah.
She totally did actually.
She smashed
Yeah.
right through it. Just
They kicked ass. I really dug the shit out of Fulton Avenue. They were badass.
Yeah, I mean,
Really,
Kim's great people. She's just an amazing person, and it was really fun to get to gig with her and to get to meet her.
Even though technically we did meet her once before,
Well, yeah,
she came out to I believe it was the Reading, Pennsylvania show at with Children of Bodom on the Hex tour. So technically we did meet her in advance.
that's right. I
Oh.
forgot she'd seen us. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. That was at Reverb.
Yep.
I love that venue. That venue's awesome.
it has a lot of reverb, man. The bounce back from the stage it's
Named
weird
accordingly.
anything up there. It sounds like fucking soup.
Yeah,
I mean,
I even had a guy a couple weeks ago tell me he went and saw Zach Wild up there, and he saw him at the reverb room, and he said, "Man, it was so loud." I said, "What? A lot of reverb? Wink, wink." And he's like, "Oh."
Dude, when I'm at the Reverb in like the photo pit, like shooting like the photography and stuff, like it feels like I'm just getting like beaten over the head while I'm in that thing too. And I always have a great time at the shows, and the shots are always really good because like the lighting is solid. Like when you're out in the crowd, the acoustics are good, but just the way they have those things positioned for like the stage and the photo pit, it's like, oh Jesus Christ, it's just like being beaten over the head. It's just like,
Is that the night I tripped over your floorboard, Absalon, and
Do what
unplugged it?
now?
Is that the night I tripped over your pedal board?
No, that was in Syracuse.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
That was in Syracuse. I lost my signal and kept playing until I don't even know how we made it through that, but we did. And we were like walking off the thing, because, shit happens. And you have good ones and you have not so good ones, and whatever, you do the best you can. We were walking off there, and we were kind of feeling like, and we were telling each other, what the fuck just happened? And apparently I guess we worked through it pretty good because people, we got a really good response. They were like, fuck yeah, and all this shit, But yeah, walking off there, it was like, oh my God, what happened? I think
Yeah,
that
you
little moment-
you were pretty upset with what had happened.
Yeah, 'cause I was stomping in my feet, and I just happened to stomp right on one of his cables and unplugged it from his pedal board, and he didn't know what was going on, and it was one of those,
So I got to throw this out to you. I know June 17th, Guar is playing back up there, so they may be looking for a band.
Man.
I know some guys.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
You know some guys that would do it.
They're
I'm
available.
just throwing it out there. So, Reading.
Like, hey, Guar, don't forget about them. They're
Yeah,
right here.
June 17th. So, I'm just, just
Hey, the last
right
time we
now.
played the same night they did, it was at Gathering of the Juggalos in 2019. Because I remember hearing them at the other stage at about 11 o'clock at night. We were going on at 1 on a different stage. I was like, man, they're killing it over there.
In DC?
Do what?
Was that in DC?
No, that was in
I think it's like
Indiana?
Ohio.
Ohio.
No,
No, it was Indiana. It was
Indiana
That's right.
Yes.
that year. Yeah.
This is a huge
Where? I
outdoor
don't remember.
festival,
But
middle
somewhere
of.
in Indiana.
Yeah, but I
Somewhat.
always thought they did the Juggalo Fest in DC.
They
No,
go to different places.
no, that's where they did the protest. They did a protest.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
2013.
okay.
They did the protest out there because they were challenging the way the FBI had cataloged their fans. But
Right.
no, they always do it up in in Indiana because it's literally a huge field like campsite type thing. Like it's
Yeah, it's like a 3 or 4 day event
yeah.
with bands and all kinds of stuff.
My buddies in the band Raven Black have played that show. They've been on this show. My buddy Michael Lawless, you would love him because he's a juggalo too, and he was on.
Whoop,
He was on the show a while back, so he would definitely be in your corner, Etox. So you don't have to worry about
Good,
that.
good.
So if the guys are going to lay into you, he'd be in your corner. But Absalon, I got to ask you, when your cord got disconnected, so did you just kind of have to fake it till you make it, like through the rest of the set?
Well, I tried at first. It took me a second to realize, because my amp that night. I remember that night. This is partly why it happened. There was not a lot of room up there, and there was a lot of cabling, So, and usually I can hear and sometimes kind of feel my rig behind me, and I was kind of checking back, like, is my guitar working? Is it working? I kind of rely on that more than monitors most of the time. And then it was like, oh, okay, this is not working. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I'm going to play. And as soon as I get a chance to get down there and handle it, I'm going to handle it. And we tried, I want to say like in a break in a song, maybe it was, I forget what song it was during, honestly, but
It was the first song, and we got you up and running before the end of the song, or it was in between.
Yeah, it was before the end of the song. In that moment, it seemed like it was an hour, but
Probably only 30 seconds or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah,
but it was just kind of like, I didn't want to seem like I was, you don't want to seem like you're tripping and take away from the show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
yeah, you
And,
just make it.
And laugh about it later, because it was cool, shit happens.
No, 100%. Angel, let's bring you back in, bro.
Sure, let me go to Brian. Okay, with the question. Your favorite Michael Jackson song?
All right.
Can we just say, I'm going to say, why don't you just say the entire album, Thriller? Why just pick one? Just choose the whole album. Be
No,
done
you
with
have
it.
to pick one, dude. You got
You can
to
get down on that whole thing, man.
Nah, you got to respect the question, dude.
Oh,
There's Brian. He does ask quite a few.
why are you going to tell me to
Level.
beat it?
You know what?
Pretty-
Actually, I agree with Yeetalk. I do like the Thriller album, but if I had to pick one song in this moment, as I think of it, it's funny. I actually heard a Michael Jackson song today, but I'm going to say "Dirty Diana."
Yes.
All right.
That had some good guitar in it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Me personally, the classics are always great, but I've always wanted to do like a big epic Melodeath cover of Man in the Mirror.
Oh, why not Ben? Come on, everybody needs to talk about the rat.
I think Man in the Mirror would work better for a Melodeath cover.
Man in the blindfold.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to see the man in the mirror.
Right. In the mirror, he can't see himself.
Shit.
Susan wants to. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna put Invictus on the spot.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we still can.
you ever have somebody ask you, "Hey, what's your favorite song by that band or by that artist?" And then you're like, I've just now forgotten every single song that they've ever made.
Yeah, it
So, Cop Out, Thriller.
Oh, don't worry. That's why he never spoke up when we were talking
I was
about
like, just
it.
let it pass.
Yeah, I was having a conversation about Michael Jackson songs recently, and I mean, I get it. It's so difficult for sure. If somebody was putting a gun up to my head and I had to choose when I told him, I was like, it would probably be Black or White because I really like the guitar breakdown in that song. I like it quite a bit. So I was like, if you're truly gonna make me choose, that's gonna be my answer because it's
Hey Jay,
That's
the
a
other
good
thing,
song,
too-
man. I remember when that video premiered, and I remember me and my brother, because we used to record stuff with VHS, whatever, and that premiered like Sunday night or something. I was like, we're recording Michael Jackson right now, and we would just watch that, man. It was so good.
Funny,
totally.
you were recording the Michael
I
Jackson
thought I was
video, and
the
I was
gay guy on
recording
the show.
Tommy Davidson on In Living Color do a parody of it.
yes.
Dude, we recorded a lot of the comedy shows, man. Heck yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
So I got to ask: is there anybody that you would love to do a duet with? Any, either male or female? I mean, to do a collab. It could be from. Doesn't have to be the metal genre. And
Dolly.
fuck yeah.
Queen Dolly, yeah. Well, it's kind of fun, right? It's kind of funny you mentioned that because we did do a collaboration for one of the songs on our most recent album, Chaos Vector, the song Terminus Egress. We had Julie Bellinger Roy, who is married to Yannick Bercier, our recording engineer.
Wow.
She contributed violin, viola, and opera vocals on that song. And I would love to perform that one live with her.
Nice.
I second that.
You think about it because Metallica, everything that they, when they did the, what was it? Who the hell was it? When they did the whole Sperm albums.
What?
Oh,
Oh,
load.
Oh, yeah.
Reload.
oh my God, Bob!
I
You're
had heard it
such
put
an
that way
asshole.
before, but that's great.
Well, it was. I couldn't think of the name. I knew there was sperm on the front of the album.
Hey, sperm and no guitar solo. That's what happened.
Yeah.
They blew their load too soon.
But what was it? Who the hell was which called? Who did da 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 da? The whole thing on
Marianne Faithful.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sperm, Marianne Faithful.
All goes together, right?
Welcome to the Metal Summit.
All the
beer.
all of our Metallica fans just canceled the shit out of us.
Hey, man,
Whoa,
if I could do a duet with another bass player and bring him back to life, it'd be Cliff, man. That's
Yeah.
probably first bass player I would choose to bring back to life and just jam with. Even if I play guitar and he's playing bass or whatever, or we're gonna both get up there and sing, I don't give a damn. It'd be awesome.
Steve Harris. You got to admit, Steve, that fucking.
Steve's the beast, man.
Oh yeah.
But just, no, I can't get that out of Sperm. That should be the name of their next. It should be Load 3 Sperm.
No, it's just going to be called Blow Load.
Dropping loads.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, now it's hard. It's hard enough watching the memory remains, but now it's just like. It's funny because like I've actually got a soft spot for like some of those songs on Load and Reload because I don't think they're bad albums. I just think they're just executed poorly and just like I find that a lot of bands like they fall into this like commercialization thing, and I don't really have a problem with bands experimenting. I love concept albums. I like when bands kind of think outside the box when it comes to the stuff they like to do. You know, like when Judas Priest did the Nosferatu album. Anyway, they did the concept album about the like the stargazer guy. I just
Nosferatu.
Nostradamus.
Yeah.
that's Nostradamus. There we go.
Nostradamus, yeah.
I was like, no, Nosferatu's the vampire guy. Yeah, Nostradamus. I like that album. I think it's really cool. So like, I don't really, have problems with bands that'll do like concept albums or think outside the box and stuff like that. Like, I know how much like, Saint Anger like angers like a lot of people and stuff like that. But at the same time, Metallica was in a weird state at that time. So just getting the album out was probably difficult enough. But there's definitely band like stuff that I like off those albums. Like for some reason, I'm really into Unforgiven too. I think that song's kind of underrated. I think it's really cool.
Hey, Jay, real quick, and these guys can look. We talked about Halford, but you got to admit when he did Shit with Two and I'm a Pig and everything.
I fucking love that.
Badass shit right there. And
Yeah.
that was Halford coming out and going, oh, yeah, I honk Bobo and I'm just going to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Rob Halford and John Five like in a band together, like, oh, dude,
That was
fuck yeah.
the most badass shit. And that video is just like, oh, yeah. I'm going, I know where you went with this.
No, absolutely. Dude, Rob's also said, like, I mean, he was living out his fantasies right on stage, like even with Priest, but nobody picked up on it. They're like, wow, the leather and the studs and all that, like, hell yeah, that's so awesome. That's so metal. It's like, no, that's so club down the street that you don't
Look,
actually go to.
82, I went to Screaming for Vengeance and I kept going, oh my God, am I in the meat rack? I'm like sitting here going, I watched Al Pacino's Cruising. I know what this tour is about.
Right. No, for sure. But no, there's a lot of good stuff on like those albums, whether you're making fun of their album covers or not. Like songs like Until It Sleeps. Look, I'll go to bat for that song. I really like that song.
And I think even
and the video was so fucking weird because some of the guys are just sitting in like mud puddles and like Kirk Hammett's got like this green glittery like mascara and eyeshadow on. I mean, I couldn't.
And he got small tits in that video.
Yeah, I guess. So
yeah, the chicks had B cups. I was looking at the tits in that video. I know.
No,
Man, I've
No
got
big
friends
tits in that video.
that discovered Metallica during the Load Reload era, where I discovered them before. So when that came out, it's not what I wanted. Like I was like,
yeah,
what is?
sure.
I remember specific. I like the songs better now, but at the time,
Yeah.
it's not the Metallica I wanted to hear. I wanted, and it gave me. So I took it back and I returned it and got my money back on it. And,
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for real. I was so upset with the album. I was like, I'm not going to listen to this. And I was like, I'll hear all this on the radio or something. I don't know. But later on, I was like, okay, I like, was the King of Nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
King
one of them.
Nothing,
That's the first one that stuck with me that I liked. I mean, there was the stuff. I was like, that's a really good song. But yeah, Unforgiven too. Later on, I got it. But at the time, it was like, nah, man, I wanted old school Metallica, not we're cutting our hair off, And so it was.
I was gonna say, did it get back into your collection now?
Well, I don't own it currently, but I've streamed the stuff. So yeah.
Right on.
I was
So
the
I got to
same
ask
way.
one last question before I throw it back to Jay. You guys are the dark metal band. How do you turn your audience from a sausage party to bringing chicks in?
Well, we just start killing dudes.
Wait a minute. There's women involved.
It's a game of numbers. We just off the dudes and all got our chicks, right? No, I'm just kidding.
But really,
We
no,
kill
how do
dudes
you
too,
bring
so watch out.
women into a dark metal genre? And is there a way to do it? You know, look,
I'm just surprised to hear that there's women at our shows.
You can't see anything.
No.
Hey,
Yeah. So
No,
I
I mean,
don't
actually,
know.
we
I don't
did
think we
get
really
some-
think about that, honestly.
Yeah,
Or I don't.
did some crossover from like the local goth community, you know, and so a lot of the goth chicks kind of dig what we do, so that they come out.
and going back to my question earlier about bringing somebody in doing a duet, you know, Nightwish, something like that. You know, Amy Lee from Evanescence. You guys doing something on that end? Lizzie Hale, bringing them
yeah.
in where you just go, oh, okay, and it really just pulls that end in.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, if I got the opportunity to do an onstage duet with Floor Jansen, I would, in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
I think that would be super.
I mean, I'm ready to do some jams with Snoop Dogg, man. I don't know about y'all, but that would be fire.
I don't
Fire
even think your
Circle
lungs
Summoning.
could keep up with Snoop Dogg.
Dude, he'd have the best flow with Blind's lyrics. It'd be off the dope ass chain.
I got high even just watching the Super Bowl.
I mean, honestly, since we already had mentioned her before, like honestly, Blind, I wouldn't hate to see you do something playing off of Kim. I think you guys could play. I think you guys could work well together.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I really think that really changes the whole dramatic, especially where you guys are and you're going. It just changes it a lot. It could be like that, vicious fucking thing.
I think it'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun to do something like that, a collaboration with another artist. You know, it's a
Absolutely, for sure. So, fans, we're going to kick it back to Angel. It's also last call for alcohol, guys. So, get your final questions, comments, anything you want to ask, anything you want to say to the guys before we cut them loose in a little while, but we still have them for a bit. So, it is last call for alcohol, guys, when it comes to the fans. Angel, it's all you, bro.
Susan, any plans to come back to Toronto?
I hope.
As soon as we can, we would like to.
And any place in Canada. Yeah.
Past 2 years.
Just want to go back to Canada in general.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. We're part of it is just getting through this pandemic and figuring out where we can go, what's open, and what our opportunities are. And we absolutely want to go back to Canada, especially Toronto. They treated us very nicely.
Yeah, our sound engineer Yannick and of course Julie that we mentioned earlier did the collaboration with. They're in a band called Gone in April. And along with Steve DiGiorgio and, some other, amazing musicians. And we've talked with them about doing a Canada run. They've got a huge following up there, especially in Quebec. And so, maybe you'll see us up there with those guys in the near future. But were talking about doing something earlier, but of course, Canada was even more strict about crossing over into the border during the pandemic. So they're still, pretty... I think it's still pretty locked down and, for artists to get up there and play at this point.
And another question from Brian. If your band had to sacrifice one member in order to bring back Odaris, which member would it be and why?
Sorry, Absalon, you're gone.
Yeah,
he does. Hey, you owe us a blood contract.
You do.
Hey,
Yeah.
I was
owe us.
kidding.
No, we're not.
Well, tell them
Hey,
like Alice
you know
said,
what?
only women bleed.
I knew you guys were going to do that to me. We're going to have a meeting about this.
Sorry, Absalon. Your blood for Odaris's.
That's right.
It's rich. That's what it is. It's rich.
We're the keyboardist.
You know what?
There you go.
Our keyboard player tried to sacrifice himself during the Bodum tour by slicing 2 tendons in his thumb on the last night of the show.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was New York City. Yeah, he's actually was opening a package of cables with a knife and sliced through 2 tendons back here. And so he was like in a hospital in Jersey when we played New York City for the last night.
Yeah,
of the tour.
at the Irvine Plaza.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
Osborne,
Biggest-
Jersey.
Yeah, we almost
he
didn't
was-
make that show.
Yeah, we didn't.
We almost did, but we did. But yeah, that was, I would say for me personally, that's been the biggest show of my career, and unfortunately Hex was not up there with us. That was really hard.
Yeah, I mean, we told the crowd that he was playing with our sacrificial dagger, and could only like taste the blood of virgins once a day, so we wouldn't be able to do a sacrifice that night. So.
Oh man.
Well, it actually worked out perfectly because out of all the venues on that tour, that was the only one that wouldn't allow us to do our onstage human sacrifice.
Really?
And
Yeah.
so we couldn't do it, and our keyboardist is in the hospital, so we just had to make something up. So I apologized to the crowd, showed them the dagger that I use, and said, keyboardist is missing. He's currently in a hospital because he sliced his hand open with the dagger while playing with it. And, the dagger can only taste virgin blood once per day. So sorry, you guys don't get a show tonight.
Oh no.
And I probably had half a dozen people after the show come up and say, was that story true about the keyboardist? I'm like, yeah, you'll get pictures later.
Yeah, we had people on social media going, "Oh, they really do have a keyboard player." It's like, yeah.
So was he like riding in the back of the van or something, trying to do what he was doing?
No, he was in a parking lot.
Lack of sleep and poor
Yeah.
Oh,
judgment.
jeez.
The last night of the tour, lack of sleep, and yeah,
God.
he doesn't
Lack
get a
of sleep
sleep
and poor
shot.
judgment, like John said.
Does anybody function with lack of sleep?
I don't do very well with it. I start to get real loopy.
What's this word you speak of? Function. Sounds
Sounds
like
like fun.
Feng shui.
Yeah.
Got fun in it.
Exactly. Yeah, put the fun in funeral.
No, one funny summoner's fact is that blind is actually gets very queasy at the sight of
Real.
blood.
it's true.
And when he walked out to the van, and literally there was like blood, it was like squirting out of his hand everywhere, and he's like holding it like this. I was like, just turn around and go away.
I was
Go away.
walking out of a Guitar Center, and they intercepted me and said, Matt just cut open his hand really bad. And I just turned around and said, nope, and walked back the other way.
Oh man, poor Matt.
There happened to be a clinic right there too,
Yeah.
right in the next
Yeah.
parking lot. So
Fortunately,
That's convenient.
Oh, so what they like checked on him? They were like, "Dude, you need to go to the hospital, or
yeah,
you're going."
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They wrapped him up, and
At least they got the bleeding stopped.
yeah,
So
that was
that was good.
Nice. just comes back as a succubus, just like
We're getting so creative with new words.
that's not a new word, Angel. These are my kind of guys.
Star Peters, any plans on playing here in the East Coast anytime soon?
What part of the East Coast?
East Coast is pretty
Star
large.
Peters from Jersey, so like Jersey, Maryland,
I would
New
love
York,
to. I would absolutely love to.
Philly.
Philly. Of course, I was going to say Philly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
that
to
way
go very
we have
far.
to come to Invictus instead of him coming to us before we
Yeah.
go.
actually, we were talking about that the other day. Nothing's set in stone. Don't take it like that. But the East Coast was great, and I think I speak for all of us when I say we definitely want to do that again up the East Coast and hit some different venues too.
Yeah, so hopefully this summer.
I'm going to throw this out to you. So Jay will bring it up. He works with BLE. We're doing an event from July 29th to July 30th at an event space in Philadelphia. And Jay, where would that be?
We are actually doing a show at the ECW Arena.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Which is something you guys may be interested in looking at that always looks for bands. It's on right off of Columbus Boulevard, Delaware Avenue, right down in that area, right down near Wells Fargo. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're stoked about it. It's called Masquerade. The logo's Masquerade. It's all wrapped up in barbed wire. So to see if the wrestling fans would kind of like pick up on the thing. But no, it's super duper cool. We're announcing the lineup on actually in 2 days on Friday. Our plan to release the lineup for the show for those 2 days. So that'll be super duper cool. And Invictus, you're local, dude. It'd be awesome if you're able to come out to that. Just let us know. And guys, of course, you guys are welcome to come out as well, because that one's definitely gonna be a party for sure. So
29th is my birthday.
Nice.
It's Bobby's birthday that weekend. So that situation would start off as like a hang, because we're definitely full up on the bands. But yeah, dude, ECW Arena for some rock and metal music.
Definitely something you guys should look into, and maybe we can work something out down there. It'd be great to have an event space like that for you guys to come out.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I would love it.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
if you need a band for standby, because sometimes people have to call into work, maybe just call us. We'll show up on a whim. Who knows?
Cool, no worries, not a problem whatsoever.
Yeah, we're ready to pack up and travel. So you got something for us, let us know.
Cool.
Yes,
No,
after being locked down 2 years. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. Angel, let's steer it back up to you, buddy.
They got a costume store called Masquerade down the street from the venue, coincidentally.
They do.
I'm not going to say how I know this, but
They got dirty herbs.
what? It's a freaky store. I know where all the freaky stores are. Oh yeah, my question. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Question for Invictus. Did you, when you started? Well, first, who are your favorite drummers? And second, when you started out playing drums, did you start out playing double bass?
I'll be right back.
Okay. First question. So my favorite drummers, I'd have to really start with Shannon Lucas from Black Dahlia Murder. He was also with All That Remains during Fall of Ideals. I love Alan Cassidy, he's taken his place in Black Dahlia Murder. Fantastic drummers. Gene Hoglan, fantastic, huge influence of mine. Also, Yaska from Children of Bodom, another big influence. When I was in high school, they were like one of the main bands that I listened to back then, and like it was a crazy experience, because I had gone to see them several times, and then a few years ago, I was actually getting to go on tour with them. That was like just mind blown for me. I was pretty much on the side of the stage every night watching him play, just blown away every night. But and then second question, did I start with double bass? I don't think so. But it didn't take long for me to get there, because I almost started playing drums out of necessity, because at the time I actually played guitar as well. So this was when I was in high school as well. Me and a couple of friends, we kind of started a band, and I was playing guitar originally, and then they're like, hey, we don't have a drummer. And then it was like, well, okay, I like drums, I'll try to play drums. Like I had a set, and I was kind of learning on the side, but it was just one of those things that I just kind of fell into, and just eventually just stuck with it and just really learned to love it. And here I am still playing. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Jay, back to you.
Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to touch a little bit on one of these final segments, a little bit just like about, influences as well. Because Itak, you had talked about, being into like, ICP, and Absalon, you were talking about being into, just being into Pantera, and, how also Itak, you wanted to bring back, Cliff Burton if you had the opportunity. But Gog, you kind of mentioned off the air about, Dangerous Toys. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about Dangerous Toys, because I just think that's super cool. I mean, we're all Kiss guys. We're all Alice Cooper guys. Yeah. I love Dangerous Toys, but they don't really get discussed about all that much. So I think this is a great opportunity to talk about Dangerous Toys. So let's.
They're raunchy and they're raw. And if you ever get a chance to see them live, you really ought to go check them out. They still put on a hell of a show. I saw them a couple years ago in Atlanta, and they were still amazing. But yeah, I grew up. I was going to college at University of Texas, and I met Jason. He was singing for Watchtower at the time, Jason McMaster, along with Billy White and some of the other guys, the original guitar player before Jerzombek joined. And I remember, and then he was doing this, thing called Dangerous Toys on the side, kind of a hair metal sleaze rock thing. And I remember, he was telling me one night, just like, man, we got this big opportunity to go do something with this other band, Dangerous Toys, but this like Watchtower's always been there for me too. And I remember, when he made that decision, I remember him discussing it with me. So it's pretty cool, just kind of being around when that little bit of, hair metal history was made, I guess. But, other influences for me, I mean, yeah, of course, Scott from Dangerous Toys, I would hang out with him at the music stores and we'd talk shop all the time. And he's a good dude. Scotty Turbo, as he used to be known back then. But like musically for me, Michael Schenker is one of my absolute favorites. He's the one
of his guitars right over there.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I play a V. And the big quote I took from him, and I took it to heart, was the best solos are the ones you can hum to yourself. They're the ones you remember. And so I always try to keep things melodic and a good balance between shred and something that you can really hum to yourself, because it's hard to hum like Momstein.
I mean, you're doing a pretty good job.
I love shred, but at the same time, it's hard to remember a lot of that, So I took that heart. So like guys like Schenker, I'm gonna say Buddy Guy. Billy Gibbons. I'm a Texas boy, so Billy Gibbons as well. Billy Duffy is another. Like I like a lot of the blues-based guitarists. Randy Rhoads, of course, is. That's why I decided I wanted to be a metal musician. I saw.
Where in Texas are you?
I grew up in San Antonio and moved to Austin and was there for a long time, but before moving to Knoxville.
I love the Colt, so
I do too. Yeah, I was able to see Randy like 2 weeks before he passed away in San Antonio when I was in high school.
Supposed to do the
freshman in high school.
Yeah,
and I saw this like little bitty ethereal guy just doing things with the guitar that I'd never seen before. I've heard the albums, of course, but when I saw him play, I was just like, I want to do that. And so I was kind of a late starter on guitar. I didn't start playing until I was 18.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Same here. Right around. Funny thing is, Summoner Circle is the first band I ever played guitar in.
really?
Yeah.
I always played drums. I can't play drums like Brandon plays drums. I'm not even close to that. But yeah, I always played drums, and that's the kind of what Herb was saying. That's we have a lot of that in common, especially when you talk about like the blues stuff, like Buddy Guy, Stevie Ray, and BB King. I love that kind of stuff, and I think Herb. Gog, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first time we actually hang out was when I was playing blues at that bar, right?
It was, yeah. You were playing some blues at the Swinger Bar.
Yeah. Love blues, but
Twisted Mics.
Yeah, we have some nice before practice starts, we have rehearsal starts, we have some nice blues jams every now and then. We do some kind of trippy stuff, some stoner rock and blues stuff. It's fun.
Yeah.
Nice. Blind, how about you, man? How about some of like your influences and like what was it about like singing and vocals?
I got really into the early Gothenburg Swedish metal scene, and since then I've stayed with that, and as it's grown into the Swedish and Norwegian kind of progressive death metal, bands like Scar Symmetry, Orbit Culture, love those bands. I don't know, something about them just it mixes that progressive vibe of bands like Animals as Leaders, and with something a little more harsh and heavy, and it jives well with me. I dig it. You can find very similar music to that in Canada. Canada is the Scandinavia from as far as metal music goes of North America. They just kick ass with everything. Let's see, they've got that really nice fretless bass tone that is really popular in Canada, and it's sweet, it's groovy as hell. I dig it.
Nice. That's awesome. I have a fretless bass of my own here that I like to break out and noodle with it because you do get that like really unique tone to it.
Oh yeah, it sounds great.
The vibrato is so much different than like on standard stuff. So I'm like, I love all that kind of stuff for sure. So that's definitely super cool. Since we were also talking about shows and stuff as well as like stuff to kind of keep an eye out if it's not already something you're familiar with. There's a festival down here in Maryland also that they do every year called Maryland Death Fest. That's also like throughout the country as well. So like so Maryland Death Fest is actually the big branding as well. So Maryland Death Fest is home base, but they do like Maryland Death Fest presents California Death Fest. Maryland Death Fest presents Quebec Death Fest. So it's like very, very cool. And they're kind of all over the place. So if you guys are unfamiliar with that festival, that's something I would definitely like just kind of check out and put on your radars. Their next one is at the end of May, is this year's Death Fest. But I think something like that would be kind of cool for you guys to reach out to as well, because I'll definitely like tag you in some stuff as well for them to check out as well. But I think you guys would definitely dig on that for sure. Angel, let me kick it back up to you one more time, brother. Anything from yourself as well as anything from the fans?
Nothing more from the fans, just a lot of love. They're definitely looking forward to the new song, and fingers crossed more touring coming up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Absolutely.
I got a couple cool things right now that
Of course, Bobby.
Ryan, you brought out. Animals as leaders. So they're going to be playing in the area April 11th, and on the 10th they're in Baltimore. But Tosi and those guys, dude, I'm telling you, there's things you guys should be looking at.
Oh, absolutely. They're a fantastic band. Really nice guys too. I got to photograph them and be backstage with them when they played a couple years ago with Devin Townsend and Monuments in Atlanta. That was a really fun time. Everybody on that was super chill and very awesome.
That would be a great bill. I love seeing bills, bands like yours that go on that somebody like myself are not familiar with you guys that much. I love being shocked. I love being that thing going, fuck yeah, I'm going to buy their album. This is the cool thing. That was the great thing about the 70s and 80s. You had bills that were mix matched so much that you just went, oh, really? Nugent would go out with everybody. Too much nowadays, everybody tries to pair a hamburger with a hamburger, or
and there's like 5,000 different micro subgenres of things, and you can only play with people who fit into that little. And I just remember the day when it was all fucking metal.
Not even that. But
I was there when the Outlaws were Black Sabbath.
Even the bills were just totally different. It was the genres, and it was just like, all right, fuck it.
I dig that. Yeah, I dig that.
But that's the great thing. And that's what I was saying with you guys going out. There's a lot of different genres now that are like, all right, maybe it's not a fit, but it's going to be a cool thing. I mean, and there's a lot of cool. So the venue I looked at in Philadelphia, I'm not sure, and I didn't even know about it. The Brooklyn Bowl.
I'm familiar with the name.
It looks like it's a bowling alley, and it's on
That sounds cool.
1009 Canal Street in Philadelphia. So if you guys want to put it down, they're looking for bands.
Very cool.
Put that in your notes, Absalon.
Yes.
Write that shit down.
So Gog, real quick, when you said you saw Dangerous Toys in Atlanta a few years ago, just out of curiosity, was that like a Dangerous Toys show, or did you see them on the Rocklanta show?
It was the Rocklanta show.
That's me and Brad's company. That was our show.
Very nice. Yeah.
I was injured at the time because I had gotten hit by a car, so I was bedridden. I wasn't able to work the show. But that's Brad BLE. That's the guy that's putting on the Philly show. that Bobby was alluding to at ECW Arena.
Yeah,
That's
that was a great show. I had a blast that day, man. I had a really good time.
Dude, that is sick, dude. All right.
We'll do another one down in Atlanta. Let me know if you're coming. I'll come down. We'll hang out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know offhand what our plans are for Atlanta, but I definitely know we have plans to branch out. We have a Kentucky venue that we're curious about. And we're always interested popping in and out of Nashville because me and the guys we did Rockin' Pod last year, and we're going to do it again in the spring when they do it. So we'll be in Nashville in spring of 2023. So that'll definitely be cool. But that's super duper rad that you were at that show, and I'm glad that you had a good time because that was a show of a festival. Those 2 days of that magnitude was definitely an ordeal, but we've always gotten positive feedback back from it. So that's super duper cool. And before we cut you guys loose, talk a little bit about the show on Monday.
So the show on Monday, we are playing with, I guess, the legendary Nunslaughter. And we have another local band that's playing with us, Quiescent Mantis. They're some good kids, and they're very Pantera influenced. I think all the guys in that band are huge Pantera fans, but they're kind of thrashy and kind of raw, so they're really cool. Black Mariah is on the bill as well, and so I think it's going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. We've never played with Nunslaughter before, so it'll be interesting. And it's going to be very intimate. It's at a very small place, but the sound in there is really good.
It's a really good place. It's becoming our second home here in town. I really think it's becoming a really good place to play, and a lot of other local metal bands and touring acts are playing this place as well. So it's a diamond in the rough, so to speak.
And it's like I said, Summoner Circle and Nunslaughter. It's a nice, wholesome family evening.
Yeah. Bring your grandma.
That's right. Grandma.
That's on the 14th?
Yes, Monday the 14th.
That's what you call children's programming.
That's it.
Yep. 4 dates are right down below.
Yep.
Absolutely. And one more thing, guys. Where can you all be found?
I'm glad you asked.
We can be found everywhere.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah,
Facebook.
like your socials. I mean, to be more specific.
There's a TikTok channel now. That's
YouTube, Facebook, TikTok,
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. We have a Twitter. We don't use it very often. We can't figure out Twitter. It's
that explains why I couldn't find it. YouTube as well.
Yes, YouTube for sure. We also summonercircle.com. We have the .com up, so you can always go there as well, and then you can find our EPK. If you're interested in doing any booking or anything like that, the EPK is there as well as our management contact. So you can always get in touch with them.
Real quick, guys, before you go, I'm going to head down to Dollywood on the week you're in the Hideaway. How far away is Johnson City from Pigeon Forge?
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
3 hours probably from Pigeon Forge. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, where are you at? Where is that?
Pigeon Forge is
where's Johnson City?
Oh, it's a little bit further north of us, headed up Highway 81 towards Bristol.
Okay, so I probably should hit it on the way down.
Yeah,
for sure. You'll go right through it.
Dude, you love it, man. It's a good time.
Yeah, the Hideaway is it's a very cool kind of semi-legendary, underground bar in Johnson City, and we have a lot of fun there.
A lot of fun. Hey,
all right, just don't hurt me.
Well, hey,
we can't promise anything, but
we haven't signed up a sacrifice for that show, but if you want to come,
there it is.
Come and get cut.
I am the least of your virgins that will be at that show.
It doesn't have to be a virgin. We're equal opportunity sacrificers.
Nice. I have actually been sacrificed.
And then he joined the band right after.
Yeah.
It was magical.
So, just to add to the socials.
All I keep thinking of is who was it? Dave Mustaine when what was it? He met with Witchcott and wanted to fist him or whatever it was.
symphony of obstruction.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah, it's like a bowel obstruction.
Hey, I wanted to add to the socials with Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and all that. We also have some cool merch at Indie Merch. Is it Indie Merch Store?
Yeah.
Yep.
Indie Merch Store, Summoner Circle. So we have
That they
some cool
do.
merch there.
Nice.
This isn't on the store, but stuff.
Then why are you showing it?
Because it's cool.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, but-
Oh my God! It's
Yeah,
like
man.
half
What-
like wafer, whatever.
No, like
Really big wafer, yes.
is that a bass drum front?
With Bobby, it's the Sperm albums and the Catholic
His
wafers.
bass drum does usually have that on it.
Nice. Oh, like E-Tech, what is that? Is that a drum head?
No, it's a.
Why are
Piece
you
of wood.
spelling it?
It's wood.
We don't know
I got
what he
one
does
on-
half the
on
time.
my
We
wall
just
there.
don't even
It's like,
question.
oh, it's a giant sugar cookie. No, it's
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
Blind's,
it's not.
Blind's wife got this made for me for Christmas.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's burnt. It's like burned. This is burned on here. It's pretty cool.
Oh, sick. But hell yeah, but indie merch
Is
is
that made of
awesome.
wood?
They got all kinds. They got the
Yes.
albums up there, T-shirts, all that cool stuff. I've been
So that's a big
shopping
wood.
already, and I will shop again. So it was super cool. But guys, thanks so much for spending some of your evening with us. Our big thing here on the Metal Summit is that you guys had a good time. You felt it was worth it, and that you felt you weren't like led astray, and that you enjoyed your time on the show.
Absolutely.
We
Had a
loved
great
it.
time.
Yeah,
Hell
You guys are
yeah.
awesome,
having
man.
it.
Yeah, it was great.
So, happy to
Awesome,
do it
man.
again if the opportunity
Hell yeah.
arises. So,
Definitely.
Absolutely. Anytime for sure. So we definitely appreciate you guys' time. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much. We love you to death. Make sure that you're supporting the guys, catching their shows, pick up some merch, and just kind of rock out. Shows are coming back. Make sure that we're getting out to these things. Make sure that all these guys know that they were missed, so that way they'll keep touring with everybody.
Yeah.
Check out our socials as well. Hit up all of Summoner Circle's socials, but hit up ours as well. Facebook and YouTube are the biggies because that's where we go live. So that way you get to see these interviews. But hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as well. The guys all have Instagrams. Make sure you're hitting up Bobby, Angel, Steve, and myself on our Instagrams. Angel Alamo, Bobby Dreyer. Look for the real Psycho Steve and just a R&R junkie when it comes to me. But we will see you guys later. We are really stoked for next week. As always, we are. Guest announcement on Friday, and we will see you guys real soon. Again, on behalf of the Metal Summit, thank you to Summoner Circle for rocking out with us. Thank you on behalf of Angel, Bobby, Steve. We will see you guys on. We will announce the guests for Friday. We will see you guys on Wednesday. As always, you've been watching the Metal Summit.
Yes.
thanks, guys.
Adios.
Take
Thank
care.
you, guys. It's a pleasure.
Dude, we are all hanging in fucking Dollywood. We're going down there. We're going to torment the shit